somewhat recently. The last time I did a video like this was over a year ago. It was in April of 2024. So a lot of time has passed, and I've played a lot of different games, so there's a lot to cover. I think this kind of video is fun because it's fun to see what games other people are playing and research. I just have the battles left. As you can see, I'm halfway there. So I've almost completed everything there is to do. Meanwhile, in Legends Arceus, I'm nowhere close. I've been working on it. The past, I don't know, since it came out, every so often I play it, and I'm only like halfway through the alphabet. So here's my character. I just bought this new outfit to wear. That is my Legends CA progress. I won't dedicate that much time to every game, so don't worry. It's just the game that I'm currently playing. Next up we have Pokémon Friends, which I believe got quite a bit of backlash against it when it originally was announced. And yeah, it's not the most complex game. You just do 3 mini games and then it gives you some yarn, and you use that yarn to create stuffed animals, which you can then use to decorate your room. They have little descriptions. You can rotate them around, look at them up close. And decorate multiple rooms. Pretty simple game overall, but I do have fun with it. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but for me it was a good game, and I'm still playing it. There's also like these missions that you can get to upgrade your town. Different people ask for specific blush. I'm not gonna give my one Mew. When they announced it, I was like, well, that's right up my alley. So, I love Pokemon and I love blush. I have to give it a try. Okay, next we have Mario Kart World. And honestly, I didn't really like it. I completed all the Grand Prix, got 5 stars on them all. And on the knockout tours, is that what they were called? I don't even remember. It's been a long time since I played. But I didn't really like the aesthetic of the game. I didn't like the trick mechanics. I didn't like the connector courses. I didn't really like how wide the tracks were, how many characters there were, like, in one race. It was too many other racers. Yeah, it didn't really hold my interest. I got all of the, like, coins and question mark blocks on the free roam and almost all the P-switches. But I didn't want to use a guide to find the remainder. It just wasn't worth my time, so I did almost all of the stuff. And then they haven't updated it. Like, well, I don't know, it's been months and they haven't updated. And that's just so disappointing. So I usually really like Mario Kart, but this one was a miss for me. Alright, on from there we have Metroid Prime Remastered. I have the physical version of the game. I would say I am a fan of Metroidvanias, and yet I've only played, I guess I've only completed 4 Metroid games. next we have Echoes of Wisdom. Again, I have the physical copy here. And I can't even begin to tell you how excited I was to play this game for two reasons. One, because I don't really like Breath of the Wild, and, well, I've never played Tears of the Kingdom, but I didn't like Breath of the Wild. It changed up the formula a little too much for me, which, it's fine. Not every game needs to be for me, and clearly it was very popular. So I don't have any problems with Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, but for my own personal preferences, I prefer the more classic style Zelda games. I especially love the handheld games, with my favorite Zelda game being Four Swords Adventure. I guess that's kind of a hybrid, because it's technically a console game, but you play it on Game Boys or Game Boy Advance. I really like the handheld games a lot. The top-down perspective is really nice, and this one is more akin to the handheld Zelda games. So this was so much more up my alley than Breath of the Wild. The other reason I was super excited for this is because you get to play as Zelda. And I know a lot of my viewers are male, so you maybe don't quite understand, but getting to play as a character that's like yourself is, I don't know, it's just nice every now and then. I don't mind playing as boy characters at all, but it was just like, oh, I finally get to be a girl in a Zelda game, thank you. So I was so excited for that. Plus, Zelda is just a really cool character. And so, yeah, I was just really happy to finally get to be Zelda. The copy mechanics of it were a little too easy to exploit, and the sword ability was a little too strong, so I just didn't use it unless it was required. I tried to challenge myself to only use the enemies and not the most powerful enemies, so I put my own little self-imposed challenges on it to make it more fun for me. And I did really like it. I liked it a lot more than Breath of the Wild, that's for sure. I hope they make more games where you get to be Zelda. I kind of wish they would just let you pick to be male Link or female Link. I mean, they're a silent character, why not? Anyways, let's move on. Okay, next we have Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Oh, I have been dying to play this game, and I finally played it. I wanted to play it back when it came out on the Wii, but for some reason never did. But I finally got to play it here on the Switch. I'm actually going to pop this one into the console. I played this co-op with a friend of mine because I think playing co-op is just a really fun way to play Kirby games. They're not challenging games to begin with, so just having some silly co-op fun is really fun. So you can see that we did 100% the save. I loved it. I just love Kirby games. So we did all of the levels here in the main game. And then in Merry Magaland, we did not complete everything, I don't think. I think most of these are done. it was worth the wait. Next up here we have Super Mario Party Jamboree. Don't know if there's a ton to say here. I mean, you kind of know what you're getting with a Mario Party game, and Jamboree did not break any of those expectations. It just kind of was, you know, what you'd expect from Mario Party. But I don't think I've played a Mario Party game for over a decade, and I was just kind of craving that, you know, classic chaotic fun, and is. And at first I was like, oh, I don't want that. But I looked it up and found that it actually was a pretty fun co-op shooter. So I decided to give it a try with a friend and found that it is a pretty fun co-op shooter. Here are the different characters that you can play as. And this game wasn't anything groundbreaking. You know, it's not really doing anything new. It just has little missions that you go through, and there's some collectibles you can find as you fight these like undead hordes. And you know, it is fun. It's fun to just play a silly shooter like that with friends. And the way that like the story was delivered was really charming, because they made it seem like kind of old school. I don't know. It was fun. Wouldn't say it's anything mandatory, but shots to kill. They're harder to run around. You take more damage, you get fewer heals, and less ammo. But again, I didn't get very far, so I can't give an honest rating for the sequel yet. Okay, we're gonna have to go in here for the remainder. Next horror game I played was Ib, and I believe this is a game maker, or is it an RPG maker? It's just, you know, very, what is the word? I don't know, just really pixely graphics type thing. Very simple. It's super short. I think one run through the game takes, well, your first run through the game might take a little bit longer, but it's still only like 2 hours maybe. If you want to see all the endings, you'd have to play through multiple times. So I think in total I put in maybe like 4 hours to 100% the game, which I did want to 100% the game because I found it enjoyable. The characters were fun. It was like the right amount of spooky. You know, it's not actually scary, but it can be a little bit unsettling. So, if you're looking for a short, not too scary horror game, this is a good one. And I did get the edition of the game that came with the art book. I won't flip through all this because it has spoilers in here. But in the beginning, there are like the character arts. Then some art from the opening of the game. This is in the very first area, so it's not really spoilery. The rest of it is mostly the paintings and other artwork that you encounter in the game. So I won't flip through the rest of that, but it's a nice little art book to have. The game has, you know, quite a few puzzles to solve and stuff, so nothing too challenging. Okay, next up is Pumpkin Jack, and this was one of my bigger disappointments. I had seen this game talked about on a lot of different gaming channels. A lot of people said it was like a great classic 3D platformer. Well, designed to be like the classics, like Medieval. And perhaps it is. I've never played Medieval, so maybe it's like this. But it didn't do it for me. The levels were too much the same. A lot of the like end game areas kind of became too much on rails. Like they ran out of time to finish it out. There weren't really very many collectibles or anything to find. The combat was just clunky, the platforming was clunky, and especially the music was so repetitive and just not good. And I feel bad tearing into it, but that's just how it was for me. I did still 100% complete it, but I can say that it wasn't for me. Didn't really enjoy it, which is sad. Okay, the last of the horror games that I played last year is this one, Little have the collection of mana. I mentioned in the last one of these videos that I did that Visions of Mana was coming out, and to prepare for it, I wanted to play some other mana games. And I kind of did that. I played the first ever mana game, which was actually called Final Fantasy Adventure. It's included in this collection. Played it all the way through, beat it, and I honestly really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's old and it's dated, but it was just a really nice and simple RPG experience. I love playing these older RPGs and getting a sense for the progression of RPGs over time. So that was really fun to get to do that. Then I started Secret of Mana, and I got about halfway through. Actually, I'm not sure. In my head it was halfway, but maybe not even that far. I ended up stopping for something else. Like a different game came out or something. And I had planned to go back, and I never did, partially because I didn't really enjoy it. You know, I've often seen Secret of Mana touted as like a classic experience, and I just didn't feel like it was that good of a game. I had a lot of problems with the way that the systems worked, and the story, even though there was more of it than there was in the original Mana game, I found the story to be not very good. Part of me still wants to go back and finish it, but we'll see. And I do want to play the final game in that, in this collection, Trials of Mana. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Okay, then this one, Guardians of Azuma. I haven't finished it. I played a lot of this game, and I was loving it. And then Silksong came out. So I started playing that, and that kind of halted my progress with this, and I haven't gone back to it yet. And again, I really want to, because I do want to finish it. And I think I will. We'll see, but I think I will finish this one. It was very fun. Definitely, probably one of the best visually looking Rune Factory games. Luminous is a really great publisher. This is actually on the cartridge, it's not a game key card. And they, I'm pretty sure, always include an extra booklet inside their games. Almost done with the Switch games. The next one I have here is Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, specifically Hacker's Memory. I played the original game several years ago on the PlayStation, and they're actually really solid JRPGs. Nothing on the inside here. They're a little low budget, and the translation is a little sloppy, but the battle mechanics are actually really nice, and there's just so much to do. There's a lot to collect, a lot of Digimon you can get, side quests, this, like, big story, just really quite fun. I wouldn't say it's necessarily one of the best JRPGs, like, it's a good 6.5 or 7 out of 10. If you like Digimon, they actually are a solid game. Oh, I did not finish it. I wanted to finish it before Time Stranger came out. But Rune Factory ended up coming out. So I stopped playing this to start Rune Factory, and then I stopped this to play Silksong. So I've got this, like, chain of games that I need to complete. Which I might not, who knows. It's not the end of the world. Okay, last game I want to mention here is Hollow Knight. And of course I have the physical edition of this. I'm not going to flip through what is in these. I have a whole video of all my Hollow Knight stuff if you are curious about those. I started playing Hollow Knight again. I didn't play it all the way through, but the reason I played it was because Silksong came out, and I was playing it, doing all the exploration, finding all the things, doing the gauntlets and the bosses, and I wasn't struggling or anything. It's not like I was hitting roadblocks and unable to continue, but I just realized after a while that I wasn't having fun playing the game. I was going through the motions, but I wasn't looking forward to playing it. I wasn't enjoying my time with it. And I was feeling frustrated with Silksong and feeling, frustrated with myself. Like, why am I not enjoying this? And I started to wonder, do I even like these games? Do I like Metroidvanias? I've often said that Hollow Knight is one of my favorite games, but is that true? It's been years since I've played Hollow Knight. So, was I remembering it with rose-colored glasses, or, more fondly on it than it deserved or something. And I started to feel kind of sad about that. Because I was bouncing off Silksong so hard. And so I decided, well, let's find out. Let's play Hollow Knight again. And my worries were quickly done away with because I started playing it probably around 11 p.m. And before I knew it, it was after 4 a.m. And I had no idea that I had played that long. I was so sucked in because I was enjoying it so much. I was loving it. And that made me realize really quickly, no, it's not that I don't like Hollow Knight and that I don't like Metroidvanias. It is something about Silksong specifically. And I still don't really know. I mean, I've got a lot of nitpicks with Silksong, so maybe they just add up to an unenjoyable experience for me. But I definitely love Hollow Knight. It is so fun. So, yeah, I finished. I was like into the City of Tears when I stopped playing. So I made it decently far. As for the rest of these, they are not ones I'm playing currently or have played in the last year, other than these two Picross games, this one for Rune Factory and this one for Story of Seasons. Not really much to say, they're just Picross games. I like to play them when I am winding down for the day, when I'm watching a TV show, or when I just need to shut off my brain. I like to play simple puzzle games like that. So that is everything for the Switch. Next, let's look at PS5. I haven't played as much on here at all. So I'll start with what I'm currently playing, which is Monster Hunter Stories. This was obviously a 3DS game. And they did this remaster of it and released it on modern consoles somewhat recently. I just started playing this recently because Monster Hunter Stories 3 is coming out at the start of next year in March. It's not really looking quite like I'll like it as much because they've shifted the art style throughout the games, getting more realistic with each one. And I honestly like this chibi art style and the extra bright colors. So, I don't know, as they get more realistic, it's not as much my type of thing. And the characters look a little too much like generic Fire Emblem characters, which is another thing I'm not quite as much into. I think the characters of this game are a bit more charming. Now obviously these environments are pretty empty because this was a 3DS game, but I think it's pretty fun. I did play it on the 3DS. I cannot remember how far I made it. I don't know why. I can't seem to recall. But yeah, I'm still really early in the game so far. You can see my other monsters here. side to this, something I have played this past year is Monster Hunter Wilds. I don't have it downloaded anymore, so the best I can do is show you my trophies here. I was looking forward to this game because I did really enjoy Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter Rise. I am one of those people that joined with World. I had tried some older Monster Hunter games and couldn't quite get into them. But now that I know the games more, I want to go back and try some of the older ones, especially like Generations Ultimate and 4 Ultimate. I think could be fun. So yeah, I was looking forward to a new Monster Hunter game, but I didn't really like this one. I thought the environments were very bland and pretty ugly a lot of the time, honestly. A lot of the textures were poor, which, you know, I'm not like a visuals person only. I don't mind if a game doesn't look great, but I think compared to World, it just looked worse. And this came out, you know, years later. And my biggest gripe was with the focus mode. It just took away any and all, like, awareness. Normally you had to be really aware of a monster's moveset, where they were going to be, where you were going to be when doing certain moves, and the focus mode made it kind of like a hack and slash. Just turn that on and wail away, and the monster's dead in a couple minutes. Not challenging at all. Now, they have since done updates and added more challenging monsters, and I have not tried them. So those might help, but I mean, I still don't really like the core mechanics of the game. So I just think this one's not really for me. But, you know, there's always the next gen of Monster Hunter games, perhaps. I didn't like the new monster designs either. They were too almost grotesque. Yeah, just not my style. That was a bit of a disappointment. The other game I am currently playing is Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Now, this may be a bit of a weird thing to say, but I am enjoying this game so much more than Mario Kart World. I think that the courses are better designed. They're more visually interesting. There's more characters. The way the unlocks work is so much better. There's more stuff to unlock. You can customize your carts, adding different, you know, pieces, and you can put stickers and paint. Here's the decals. You can change the horn and even your aura. And there's, you know, a variety of different vehicle types as well. I find this game so much more enjoyable to play. I haven't even done that much of the actual, like, single player because I've been doing all of the events they add, which, you know, there's been way more support for this game than Mario Kart World. They've added several new characters, they've added new tracks, new music, titles, and customization items. They are constantly doing events. There's actually an event that starts tomorrow. So, yeah, they're just putting a lot of work into this, and I really appreciate that. Let me just show you an example of what one of these levels looks like. One of my favorites is this one, the museum. So, yeah, the environments are pretty nice in here. This is just entering into the museum. You can see posters for the exhibit. photos for the Werehog, and then an advertisement for the season pass. So these two are what I'm playing now. And then while we're on the topic of Sonic though, something else I played was Sonic Frontiers. And even though the second half of the game felt a little less finished, like the first two worlds were more fleshed out and enjoyable, I would say as a whole it was a fun game to play. The environments were really fun to explore. The movement of the game felt, for the most part, solid. Like I was having fun just traversing the environments. There's tons of stuff to collect. I mean, I have the platinum trophy. And I didn't even get close to actually collecting everything. But there was a good variety of different tasks to complete on each island that you go to. And the music was great. Really good music. In my last video like this, I had just started Demon Souls. I think I had done 2 areas at that point, like 1-1 and 1-2. And I went through the whole thing and got the platinum trophy. I love Demon Souls. It's one of my favorite of the Souls games. I will say that I prefer the original game to this remake. I think that you just lose too much of the atmosphere, and a little bit of the clunkiness, and I mean, some would say that's good, but I think there was something in that clunkiness that added to my enjoyment of the game. This game definitely looks amazing. So it's a great way to experience Demon Souls today, especially since it's hard to play the original. I played through this, I mean, you can see the date here. Ran through it pretty quick. Phalanx on the 20th, and then I got the platinum a month later. So, not too long to beat it. I do have the physical edition of this as well. I would say that Demon Souls is maybe my second or maybe third favorite of these Souls-like games from FromSoft, with my absolute favorite being Dark Souls 2. And I do have the Dark Souls 2 Platinum as well. While I was working on the Demon Souls Platinum, I also got my Bloodborne Platinum finally. I got this just a couple days before. I had all of my saves ready. I just needed to actually beat the game. I just was like using those saves for like PvP and stuff, but I hadn't played it in a long time, and I was like, let's just beat those bosses I didn't enjoy it at all, and I was like, why am I putting myself through this to get a platinum trophy for a game that I don't like? So I stopped. I was partway through my second ending, and decided, no, I'm not wasting my time with that, so I stopped playing it. I did still, for some reason, get the DLC, and I played through the DLC actually co-op with a friend, which made it a lot more fun. I don't think the DLC was really that good. It was so empty. I didn't really enjoy most of the bosses. I mentioned this in my Switch games, but Visions of Mana came out. I was so excited to play this, and it lived up to my expectations. Actually, I would say it exceeded my expectations. I loved it. I did not want it to end. I took my time with it and got all of the trophies. The story wasn't anything groundbreaking or anything like that, but visually, really beautiful game. All these trophies are just black screens. That's so unfortunate. Maybe some of these down here. Yeah, visually looked great. I loved the characters. It was just a fun cast. The way that the combat worked was so nice. I loved doing the skill trees and doing the different builds, because you could change like the class on your characters. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. Definitely one of the highlights of my year. This was definitely one of my favorite games that I played recently. Next, let's just mention these really quick. Frog Detective, this is games 1 through 3. This kind of fits along like with Smushi in that it's, it's not like the best game ever by any means. It's really simple, really short, but they're just fun, you spend a day or two on them, and you just have a good time. It's cute, it's quirky, and I enjoyed it. Very solid experience. This one, Hauntii, you play as this little ghost, but it's not actually like a horror game. The best thing about it is like this art style is so visually striking. It looks amazing. It's also like a twin stick shooter, that's what it's called, because you aim with this gun or this stick and you shoot things around Souls. It is, very much like old school survival horror. The characters were fun and quirky. The puzzles were great. The attention to detail in the different environments and stuff was incredible. This is one of the best survival horrors that I've played. The best is Silent Hill 2, you can't beat that, but this one was really good. Loved it. Loved it enough to where I bought the physical of it as well. Also on Switch, because I'm primarily a Switch collector. This actually didn't come out until after Halloween. The physical, the digital came out a while ago, but the physical edition didn't come out till just recently. The reversible cover in here is amazing. Oh, you can get some Crow Country merch from Fangamer. Look at that reversible cover. Came with a little mini poster from the game. And it's reversible. This is the other side. Park map, as well as a small instruction booklet. starting at the bottom here was Blippo Plus. This was not a game, it was like an interactive experience. I don't even know how interactive it was. It's so weird. You can't really explain it. But it's supposed to be like, this is the TV channels that are available to watch. It's on a real-time timer. You can pick a channel to watch, and it shows you the show. And they're like a minute long. And they're just weird. Like, this one's like a food channel. It's really hard to explain what this is like, but it's now available on the Switch and Steam, and it's in color. Fulcrum Defender was pretty fun. You just kind of try to last as long as possible as these invaders come in, and you use your crank to aim your gun and shoot at them. I didn't try this one yet, or this one. I did play Long Puppy, and I liked it, but the time limit made it a little less fun for me. And this one, you're just like a little... Your human throws a ball and you have to fetch it. You can turn the timer off, which I like. And you use your crank to aim your dog. And you stretch out with the up button. And you go around and you eat food, and as you eat, your puppy gets longer, so you can reach higher locations. And then I did not have time to play any of the rest of the ones from that season. There was one other from the first week, and it was called Dig Dino. I have since deleted it because I completed it 100%, but that was genuinely like a really good game. And I think they should make a version of it for like the Switch and Steam, because more people need to play it. It was really fun. You dig down and you're trying to dig up fossils. You also dig up money, or like, I guess, gems. And then you trade those in at the end. Because eventually you run out of digging that you can do. Then you go back to camp and you can trade them in for upgrades, like more stamina or better digging tools, or explosives to dig out a larger area. Yeah, it was really a fun game, and probably my favorite Playdate game. I guess this one I want to talk about just super quick. Hablet. It's just a game where every day you log in for like 30 seconds. You pick one building or road or wall. You add it to your town. That's all you have to do. There's no score. There's no purpose. You're just building a cute little town, just for fun. So those are the Playdate games I wanted to talk about. And I guess with that, that's pretty much all that I've been playing. I guess it is kind of a lot, but it has been over a year since I made a video like this. So I hope it was enjoyable, and I hope you liked this video. Let me know what games you